number 12, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. I'm of course YanXII VIP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome everyone, welcome to, again, another week here of the Code for Giants Cup, and we are jumping into our first series of the night. We're jumping into a TvZ. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hellfire. It is YanXII. Yeah. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Green Zerg representing Ximius Gaming. It is Claw. Here we go. Oh. Sorry, just quickly setting things up. But yes, welcome everyone, welcome again. For those that maybe have not tuned in before in the past, this is a tournament hosted by Cosmos. A big shout out to Cosmos. Cosmos, he is kind of the Brazilian caster out there. He's kind of like the wardy of the Brazilian scene, and he has been hosting this event for the past couple of months, almost from the beginning of the year. He's been doing his best here to help support, help fund, and really lift up the Brazilian scene. So exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is stacked, the bracket is live. Plenty of players here, of course. We are missing some though. Unfortunately, this week there is no Eric, my boy. Got a lot of love for Eric, of course, one of the CranKy Ducklings, but alas is not here this week. He is the previous edition's champion, but won't be here to reprise his role, unfortunately. But we have plenty of other amazing players. We have Protoss, we have Terran, we have Master, we have Yan, we have Kamikaze, we have Inexorable. Plenty of amazing competitors. Regardless, we're settling in. We are going to be settling in. If you're in the chat, predictions should now be closing here. If you want to get your gamba going on who you think will claim the series, should be wrapping up by the time you hear this message. And I have never casted Claw before, so I'm ready to be introduced. Again, Yan, he's going to be coming in as one of the heavy favorites to take the entire tournament. We'll see if Claw can slow him down. We'll see if he can. As for now, Hatchgas Pool, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Likewise, Yan going for a Rax expand. So far, everything's looking normal, everything's looking as it should. If you're curious, Yan, he's a much younger player. I mean, I say that we were casting Yan back when he was, what, like 15 years old. Nowadays, a little bit older. Like what, 18, 19, 20 at this? No shot. Has it been that long? no shot. Around like 18, 19 years old at this point. So has you know, gotten older, gotten wiser, gotten better as a player. And again, we'll see how he compares to more of an up-and-comer like Claw. But now Reaper dipping in. We'll be catching a drone here on the low ground. Not bad, one worker going down. Already more than what should have happened. Going for a second drone. Doesn't quite get it. Does force back. Does force a sport trick. At least the worker does survive. Reaper gets out. Claw taking a third base. Claw just settling in, droning up, and establishing himself. Did lose a worker, so a rougher start for the Zerg player. And Yan does get eyes on the third base. Does get eyes on the third. I see in the chat. Good to see everyone else in the chat as well. If you haven't either, good morning. Good to see you all. So settling in for a nice morning of StarCraft as well. As he comes back in, he wants another drone. He wants it, and it looks like he will get it. Yeah, the Spore is denied. Late reaction out of Claw. Yan popping up here in the early game, going for a third drone. Doesn't quite get the third. Thankfully, Queen is in position. Reaper is going to be shut down as Link Speed kicks in. I say that, Yan, he wants another worker. Oh, he wants it. He gets it as well. Looking at the insult tab, 3 worker kills. Claw, he responds with gases with the Roach Horn. I do actually like this response. Now that the Reaper has gone down, because we've lost so many workers, it might just be worth to double down, to commit, to go for an all-in. Instead, we're going for a Roach Rush. Yan is in the dark, but he's moving out with those Hellions. He is moving up. Behind this, going for Liberator Harass as well. Not Banshee. Delayed third TC, so because this, Yan is going to have that much more to work with. A later expansion, much more aggressive follow-up. Hellions have arrived, and they confirm lack of saturation at the third base. That isn't the biggest of tells, and we can see that Claw, he's backing up more Lings, and soon to be backing up Roaches as well. Here we go. As Ling Roach is amassing. Meanwhile, Yan back at home going for a third TC. Hellions, they poke in. And believe Yan, he still has not seen enough yet. Does spot the Lings though. Does spot them. Headed towards the natural. Roaches are revealed. At least the first wave of roaches. Lings are moving out across the map for that counter attack. And here we go. It's all or nothing for Claw. Morphing in 5 Ravagers. Hellions, they do bypass the main army. They're going for the mineral line. And drones are getting roasted. We have a Liberator in the main base. We have Hellions here at the natural as well. 8 drone kills already. And this is crippling damage. At the same time, Lings are across the map. Back at home, not much to defend, only 2 Marines. And the Lings are busting through. Claw, send it! Send everything across the map. He busts in! He breaks through the front door. 2 Marines here to defend. Boys are being pulled. So far, good damage here by Claw. The Roach Ravager still on the way. More reinforcements have arrived. And Marauder as well. It's going to be 10 SCV kills. Ravagers are making their way in. And Claw, he can still pull this off. Oh, the Marauder putting in a lot of damage to the back line. One of those Ravagers does go down. At the same time, Claw still being held up. And where are the reinforcements? Again, we're down to 2 Ravagers. The tank has arrived. Roach is being held up as well. And it looks like Yan, he's barely holding on. He lost 27 SCVs, but he has 3 orbitals. He has triple mules available. He can recover. He can rebuild. Speaking of mules, the mule hammer is real. And Yan, he's rebuilding his economy. He survives. He forced back the Roach Ravager. And as the dust settles, we have a comparable worker count, actually. We have 24 drones against 26 SCVs, but there are mules on top of that. Yan, speaking of mules, even more mules, Yan does have better economy. And Claw is in trouble. He's stuck redroning, resaturating. Link counterattack, but alas, our tanks. There's Marines. And Yan holds. Yan does survive. And back at home, where do we go from here? For now, at least, Claw is just droning. He's droning up, but the problem is that we're on hashtag. It's 7 minutes into the game and no lair. There's no lair, there's no Bailey Nest, no upgrades, no Evo Chambers. 1-1 now starting up here for Yan. The mules, they continue. And Yan is soon to snowball out of control. Right now, Claw, he has to either work on a second all-in or be as greedy as possible, take a 4th expansion, take up into lair, take gases, and take chances. Just catching up with chat. What we'll do without the kangaroo? No. Yeah, good to see you all in the chat. See Lade's Chrononaut, Ino War as well, Frost, Nikachu. Bienvenidos. Good morning. So we go Yan, he moves out now with a massive counterattack. That's a lot of Marines. We have 3 tanks. We have a Marauder. We have Sustain. And Claw's in trouble here. No Ravagers remaining. So he can't bow down the tanks. And Yan, he's going to be able to stim in. The Queens are being targeted down. There's 1 transfuse available, but even then the Queen does fall. And yeah, they can just snowball from here. We'll target down every single Roach. Boys being pulled into Marines. You hate to see it, no? Drone's going to be going down. GG, well played. And Yan will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A solid game 1 there out of Yan. I'm going to say that, the defending against the all-in was quite risky. It was definitely a tense moment that could have gone either way. A lot of damage was being dealt, a lot of economic damage, but if you recall, because Yan had triple orbital, didn't really matter too much. He could very quickly recover and stabilize, at least economically. Claw had to end the game with that push. Alas, did cripple the economy, but again, not enough. Not enough damage. GG, well played. Yan will take game 1, but now we can get ready for game number 2. And I want to believe that potentially Claw can cause an upset. Could pull it off. We shall see. As we're getting ready for that second game. After this series, we can go over the brackets and try to catch up on everything that's been going on. Try to catch up on the players, the matchups, and any other results as well. Here we go. We are loading into game number 2. It's going to be on Oceanborn. Alright, going to be loading in. we go. Also, I believe Cosmos is also casting in Brazilian. I think he's covering his own series. Not too sure where he is. I can hazard a guess based on the first round matches. We'll get there, we'll get there. But now though, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hellfire. It is Yan. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Green Zerg player, representing Ximius Gaming. It is Claw. We go. And again, honestly, not too bad of a performance out of Claw in that last game. He did do a lot of damage. Again, he killed, what, over 20 SCVs. He was able to break and bust into the natural. Like, damage was being done. Unfortunately, just because of the Hellion run by and the Liberator Harasser was being dealt at the same time, it just wasn't enough. So we'll see how Claw will approach this time in Game 2. For now, hatch first. It is going to be a hatch first opener. We saw in the last game, the initial Reaper opener did get 3 drone kills, so it was a very strong start for Yan. I would not be surprised if that's also what triggered the all-in from Claw. And this time we'll see if we see something similar, if Claw has a bit of a tighter, bit of a more crisp opener instead. Despite the early game. And we could even see a more even back and forth mid-game. We shall see. So now we're settling in. SCV's got moving out across the map. CC on location. And here comes that first Reaper. So far, everything looking as it should. Everything looking standard. Nothing wild yet. Although this will come down to the control here of Claw. Will be taking his third. SCV opts not to deny the expansion. So the third base should be taken. Reaper's on the way. And as a reminder, last game Yan did open up 1-1-1. He did go for a delayed third base just to be that much more aggressive. See if he does it again. Reaper has arrived, dancing with the Lings, going for the drone. Oh! Doesn't quite get it. Worker taking a lot of hits. At the same time, Claw can expand. There's that third. Third base is on the way, 1 lane goes down, but no drone kills. This time a much cleaner defense out of Claw. Much cleaner. I'm actually curious, I didn't notice last game, but did Claw skip his Lings last game? That could be a big reason as to why so much damage was being dealt. So this time, we're good. We're solid. This time we're okay. Meanwhile, back at home, Yan once again going 1-1-1. We saw last game this led into Hellion Liberator, as there was a Liberator harassing in the main base, Hellions towards the natural. We'll see if he does the same, or if he goes into Banshee instead, or even, or even BC. For a second there, I was like, would we? It's possible. I mean, he's going double Marine first, no add-on. Which means this most likely will not be Banshee. Otherwise, we'd see a Tech Lab for an add-on swap. And okay, it's going to be Hellion Liberator. Same opener as Game 1. Here's the same opener. Again, moving out. Ooh, does bypass the Queens, goes straight for the mineral line. And drones are getting roasted. Ooh, yeah, 4 workers going down. They're lighting up. No! No, they stack! Oh, they stack at the natural. Insane Hellion shots going off. 10 drones go down. And that's a little bit too much here in this early on in the game, in this kind of game state. 10 drone kills. Oh my god. Overlord goes down across the map, checking the vision. Claw did see the starport already done, saw the lack of Tech Lab. Liberator should be on the mind here of Claw. But really rough start. Liberator moves out. I believe the Overlord may have caught a glimpse of it. Spores are on the way. A spore in the natural, spore in the main, and a spore at the third. And Claw will have Queens to defend, but because there were so many drones earlier, he's lacking Lings. Lings are lacking here for the Zerg. Attempting to re-drone. Hellion's looking for another way in. Liberator into main. And you can see no lings. Yeah, without any lings, the Hellions, they just have free reign of the bases. They ignore the queens. They head into the mineral line once again. And this is going to be game-ending damage here, or critical damage. 10 drone kills earlier, now 13. Liberator still wreaking havoc. Heating up some of the larva. Another drone falls. Aliens being forced back. And that was how many? That was 16 worker kills. That's 26 drone kills in total. 26 drones, an Overlord, a Queen, 5 Lings. Oof, and just like that, Yan, he has a massive economic lead. He's got the worker lead, he's got the mules as well. Third TC is done. Orbital's on the way. And this time, Yan, he defends against the Ling counterattack. He is ready back at home. He's fully walled up, producing more Marines. Hellions being popped out, and yeah, I mean, Yan looking just quite secure. He's looking secure. Meanwhile, Claw, from here, macroing is going to be difficult. I would not be opposed to Claw going for an all-in, like a 2.5 base all-in or a 3 base all-in, but macroing here, it's even amongst pro players, after losing that many workers, it's a hard thing to do. Now, he is going just for the 1 Evo chamber. Baneling Nest is now done. Lair has completed as well. From here, we can go into Baneling Speed. Interesting. Going into Roaches. Okay, that I was not expecting, considering how little gas Claw has. So, interesting choice. Claw going for a 4th base. Now taking his gases here at the 3rd and the natural. He's taking all his gases. And unfortunately, Claw's being hyper greedy. He's being as greedy as possible. And what that means is that Claw doesn't really have an army. This is Claw's army. He has Lings across the map. And here comes the Hellbat follow-up. 4 Hellbats, Mass Marine, Stim is done. Combat Chills +1 is finishing up in a couple of seconds. Queens are getting caught out. Lings, they cannot engage. We need Banelings. And there just aren't any. 0 Banelings to defend. I mean, there's nothing to defend. Roach production has begun, and Yan, he can just walk into the 3rd. And the boys being pulled away, they get caught out. Oh my god. 18 more drone kills, and Yan, it looks like he has broken the 3rd base and broken the back of Claw. Again, a lot of this came down to the Hellion run by earlier, to the insane critical damage. 26 drone kills from the harass. It was just far too much. Just far too much, far too early on. And it led into this kind of game state. Banelings have arrived. They take down a couple of these Hellbats. But what about the Marines? As they can just target down the final Banelings. One does connect. The Marines are low. But alas, there's still just too many. They focus on the Roach as they head towards that. Well, they killed the 3rd base. Going for the 4th as well. The army is over Stim, but it's fine. Yan can still hold his own. Meanwhile, across the map, the 3rd base is done. The 4th is on the way. Long distance mining. Yan looking quite comfortable. And has been macroing up, rebuilding, just remaxing here with Marine, with Widowmine, getting into 2-2. Claw technically survives, but he's stuck on a 1.5 base economy. He's stuck with barely an economy to sustain himself. He's producing some Roaches. 24 Lings on the way. Technically, if Yan were to maybe be a little bit too greedy and, like, I don't know, make extra expansions, extra CCs, if his macro was slipping, then maybe Claw could take a fight, especially with Banelings, but alas, Yan, he's not stopping. he's not slowing down. Not giving Claw any time to breathe. There we go, Yan. He stims in once again, going for the 3rd base, going for the Roaches, knocks them down. Banelings are finishing up. But GG gets called. Well played, and Yan will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Yan will take the series. But a shout out to Claw, because what I will say, game 2 was more one-sided. That's true. Game 2 was more one-sided, but Game 1 was close. Game 1 was quite close. We saw that Claw was able to deal critical damage himself as well. It was a little bit more back and forth, or much more back and forth compared to Game 2, so not bad. Not bad at all. Considering that Claw is more of an amateur player, and Yan is a GM, considering that kind of skill disparity, or even MMR disparity, Claw was able to hold his own. GG, well played. Best of luck to Claw in his endeavors at improving and maybe even playing in the next tournament, but a shout out to Yan as he does advance on into the YanXII.